Johnson Chan, and well, I'm actually going to be doing things a little differently in case you didn't watch the stream yesterday. But instead of spending like the first minute or two trying to tweet out everything and whatever, I'm just going to just straight up, start tweeting things. And I just realized that I need to change the restream.io to include all the new. Oh boy, I'll remind myself after the streams are. I don't feel like changing it now, so I'll open up a new tab in Chrome. So anyway, yesterday I had to do like a different video, so that's why I didn't do Bitcoin Clown World. So that's why I'm doing it today. All right. So there's new programs for finance, Titano forks, I should say, to go over. So we'll do that today. And then overall, there's really just not much happening in the markets. I mean, we're all just waiting for the Federal Reserve, which isn't going to be until next Wednesday. So pretty much everything's just going to be shit until then. But, it'd be nice to just, keep the pulse. God, I don't want to relog in right now. But we'll have to keep a pulse on, the markets and interest and all that stuff. So anyway, with that being said, I was watching Saint Nick yesterday in chat. I have to get this out there. And it was funny because, on the cozy.tv stream, we're all spurging out, including me, so we just say whatever the hell we want, right? So some stupid F word was just like, I still remember the guy's username, I'm not going to say it, but he's like, hey, Johnson, how much of your bag have you lost, with your shitty financial advice? So, it's like, can I just block this guy? All right, because that way, because I don't want people criticizing me, I just don't want it spamming up my field of view. And of course I can't, so, at least there's full free speech, and I just ignore him because there's no point in getting an internet argument with like a complete random, right? Chances are it's probably just a stupid kid too that doesn't know anything. It might not even be invested in anything either. Because usually you would come into this channel, right, and then just ask me questions or leave a comment on YouTube, but I've never seen anything like that. So I take that as a sign that, everything's pretty much not only oversold, but the set market sentiment is way too low. So we should be able to, pull out of this eventually. And I even see, news outlets and Yahoo Finance all basically saying, yeah, rate hike coming, rate hike coming, rate hike coming. So sooner or later, it's got to come, right? And the Federal Reserve has to kind of keep playing along so that they could just say, hey, we're attempting to control inflation, so can you guys stop bitching about it, right? Because remember, the Federal Reserve wants hyperinflation, right? What is the reason for that? This is for all of you who are new, right? From Poseidon Finance, Pallas Finance, Titano, congruent, whatever, all right? There's a lot of metrics out there that can actually tell you what the overall big picture is, all right? And pretty much at the center of everything is the central bank, specifically the Federal Reserve, and this is the Federal Reserve website. This is literally what it says. This is assets owned by the Federal Reserve of America, right? They are public enemy number one, as Greg Manarino says, all right? They own $8.79 trillion worth of stuff. So I made this realization like in a stream like a few months ago. The reason why they want inflation is because the Federal Reserve owns stuff. So what do you do when you own stuff? You want it to go up in value. Well, guess what? You control the money supply, you control the world, and you have a bunch of stuff that you want to inflate the price of. What do? You create inflation. And that's exactly what we're seeing here, all right? This is the all-time chart, and it just goes up over time pretty much, right? But we look at 3 months, it just keeps going up and up and up and up, all right? So as long as the Federal Reserve wants to keep pumping prices so that it can get richer, because this is exactly what you see that they own, that they let us know that we own, I'll read chat in just a second, the inflation is going to continue, all right? So they really don't want to raise interest rates, essentially, but they kind of have to give a little bit just so people would stop complaining about it. Even though the Federal Reserve totally knows it, it's not going to do anything, right? And at the time of their choosing, the Federal Reserve will just start dumping all their shit, right? Take their profit and then, fuck you and me over, right? And like Greg says, the sign that that's happening is the debt market decides to call bullshit on everything and sells off. And then these real rates just go to the roof. That's why we look at the U.S. Treasuries every stream, essentially. So, and when the debt market implodes, so does the stock market. And cryptocurrencies are supposed to go up, but from what we can obviously see, when the global markets go down, so does fucking cryptocurrencies. So crypto's not doing what's supposed to. So I'm like 50-50 on what the hell crypto's going to do. So like, I'm probably the only expert out there that actually is saying that Bitcoin and crypto is correlated with the stock markets and the world markets, right? Because, you know, if interest rates are rising from the Federal Reserve, why does the crypto markets always go down, right? It's supposed to go the opposite or be independent. So, and look, the markets are up today, right? As of right now, it's 9:54 a.m. New York City time, so the market's just open. And gee, look at what's happening with crypto. It's doing a little better today, right? And yeah, because my God, it's like Bitcoin's been hit so hard. M1 to the moon. Yeah, no kidding. M1, M2. I don't even know what the difference between these two clowns are anymore. I just see this and I go, wow, you know. There goes the value of your dollar, right? Which is why we gotta start. I mean, I really wished that this existed a long time ago, right? And then I would just put my money in the DOLA and True USD. I would never have lost all my money in the stock markets last year because I would have had just high interest earning stable coins, all right? My US dollar would literally be making 27.5% to 50%. Frax has actually been outperforming True USD as well. So I think when I finally start setting up my stablecoin farms and Beefy Finance, I think I'll have to just do 33% in each of these. Because True USD is the safest play. Frax is more money, and it's also decentralized. But sometimes the APY in it can go below True USD, like I did the last time I did my video, I think last week. And the DOLA, of course, earns the most because this is actually a synthetic stable coin, so it uses leverage and borrowing and debt and all this crazy derivative shit. So it's like higher risk, but for the most part, it's been holding steady. So I'm willing to gamble a little bit, right? Which is why I'm only going to put, like, if I had $10,000, $3,333.33 would be in Dola, Frax, and True USD. So, because if there's anything I learned from Metaverse Pro and Congruent, right? If I can find the page somewhere. I guess I closed it out. Oh, it's over here, right? If I learned anything from this shit, it's like maybe I should not ape into every single thing and then just get killed on the one mistake, right? I mean, I'm very fortunate that, you know, God was with me and I made sure, okay, it's not just the code, what about the people running it? So I'm working with really good people. So I will get all my money back and then, you know, I'll be back to normal. I won't be making as much income wise, at least until like Congruent becomes like, I don't know, 50 grand a token or something, you know, which technically it could happen because the supply is really low, but obviously, you know, we're still figuring everything out, so we'll see. But at the very least, I'll get my money back, and since we're pretty much going to own almost all the gas tokens, then it's just going to be like before. So whatever, like the number one problem I brought up before at Congruent is share dilution of token holders of Metaverse Pro people. But chances are, like, we're going to get all 3,000 of this, right? Because only ourselves are bidding on these NFTs, so we get all 3,000, right? And then we'll probably get all 3,000 or most of this LBP, right? So, and Congruent's been accumulating more and more. You know, I should save this for the later, but, you know, we'll just do a quick rundown because I got a lot of new people that are watching this. So Congruent is, I think this should be updated. Yeah, here we are. So Congruent right now is somewhere up here, and Wonderland is, yeah, I don't know why Wonderland is abandoning the Curve Wars. Like they're so poorly managed. It's insane to me. But whatever, you know, it's more opportunity for us because right now, everybody who's in Time Wonderland and maybe Olympus DAO, right? All the FUD, all the price drops, they're all going in all this shit, right? So right now, who wants these customers, right? It's like going to Burger King or McDonald's and then like, I don't know, the employees are taking a dump every time you go there. So you're like, you know what? I really want a hamburger, but I can't go to Burger King or McDonald's anymore. So guess what? Chick-fil-A moves in to take that market share. All right, Five Guy Burgers comes in to take the market share. In-N-Out Burger, which doesn't exist here, unfortunately, but I know they're very reputable and good, and they resisted the mandates, apparently. they'll come in and take that market share, right? You know, people and money just doesn't go away. They just go somewhere else. So, very good opportunity for us. I mean, we're now better than Wonderland, and we're not even launched yet, right? Like, this is hilarious. And obviously, we're just getting started, so we're going to be, like, somewhere up. We'll probably should be somewhere around Terra or Olympus, right? And I'm assuming that we're not going to get any actual new funds. 25% APY. Yeah, I did a video about stablecoin farming, 25 to 50% APY, right? Or 40% at the time, right? DOLA goes up to as high, when I did that video, DOLA was about as high as like 80%, right? Before it went down. I think it's because of the market downturn, so everyone's just dumping their dollars into this. So you never have to engage with the central banks ever again. Right? Now we can weaponize the central banks truly against them, at least until they start banning crypto and then start like really banning stable coins, right? Because the government does not want you doing this shit, right? They don't want you making money off of this shit, and we'll talk about that in a sec. All right? The government wants you losing money in the fucking stock market like I've been, right? How much money have I fucking lost, right? It's getting pretty close to 100 grand. All right? I'll just say that way over the past couple of years. Now, I'll eventually make all that back, despite all the damage and ass reaping I've been taking over the past few years. But, you know, everyone's always asking people for advice. You know who I ask for advice because I don't have anybody? I ask God and Jesus Christ. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll whip you up something, Johnson. And then, like, for some reason, a YouTube algorithm suggestion or somebody in the chat or just something random-ish kind of happens when I do my little thing. And it says, oh yeah, check this guy out and see what they say. And then, you know, one thing leads to another, and here we are. You know, the reason why I found about Pallas, Poseidon, and Highpoint was because of the exact same thing, right? I was just tweeting some stuff out, and then I also tweeted out Titano and Pallas stuff, and then a couple of people, like the mods, I can't even remember anymore from Titano or Pallas, I think. I don't want to mention I don't know if they want me to mention their names, but, you know, they told me about these guys. I was like, oh, okay. So long story short, you know, I didn't invest that much into Pallas, and I'm already up. My stupid camera's blocking everything. I'm already up. Wrong one. That's social icons. I'm already up a lot in Pallas, because Pallas, my average cost was like 0.004 cents, and now I basically quadrupled my money. All right, and that doesn't even include all the coins I've been minting, because I haven't sold a single Pallas. Poseidon Finance, I bought this at an average of like 0.0041405, and I'm already up a little bit. And of course, this is the one where I put in, I don't want to say how much money I put in for this, but this Titano fork is pretty much going to be my #1 earner. On top of that, oh yeah, I got to zoom out a bit. I'm still studying this, but basically they've been burning a lot of coins. So this is going to do very well, provided, of course, it's not a scam project, the developers rug pull, etc., right? And then Highpoint Finance actually is apparently better than Poseidon Finance in terms, I will go over this again later, but the community here looks a lot better and bigger. And I'm not shitting on Poseidon. Poseidon's really good. They just happen to be smaller. So I definitely look forward to this, and this is on Avalanche. So now I will have a footprint in every major blockchain. The only ones I'm missing is probably Solana and probably some other thing. But right now I'm pretty stretched thin because I've been raiding the hell out of my Titano. I'm still waiting for the burn announcement, and then the price of Titano will skyrocket. So, and we'll go over this again because I think these projects could be sustainable, right? But you'll have to expect a price of these coins to eventually be pretty shit. But that's okay because you want a stable price, right? It's just like 2016, 2017, etc. when I was farming 808 coins, the exact same thing. But back then it was proof of stake 1.0. Ethereum wasn't what it is today, right? I don't even think smart contracts were around. So you couldn't do things like automated buybacks, right? Because that's really what high APY projects really need are buybacks. And funny enough, you need taxes too. So, you know, we'll talk all about that. And I hate that I have to admit that taxes do work. But, you know, we'll go over it because I've been thinking about it and I'll still keep thinking about it. But, yeah. Because we have to separate the tool, which is taxes, from the corruption, which is what Democrats like to do. So that's pretty much why. And, you know, it'll tie into, like, you know, your Ben Shapiro's and your big corporate and unbridled capitalism that just rapes everybody and then whatever. Let's because it turns out unbridled capitalism, the extreme end of capitalism, is the exact same side of the coin as far left-wing socialism, communism, whatever, F-word term you want to use. It's the same thing. It's the same objective. Centralize all the power and money to like yourself and your cronies and like a centralized governing body and fuck everybody else over by giving them a little bit of scraps until the people get pissed off enough and then just do a French Revolution on you. So, we'll talk all about that. Okay, so that was a 15.5 St. Nick style monologue because I was watching obviously I watched his show yesterday. It's a real shame. I mean, she does sound like before we'll get into it, that poor girl that got like stabbed by the dangerous minority that I will not name the race of because I don't get banned on YouTube, so I'm not already on their shit list. All right, she was obviously very attractive. She did look kind of like a shit lib, but I mean, she definitely looked conservative enough, base-wise, that she could have been one of us, right, movement-wise, and if she marries like a wonderful white guy, have white babies, but that's never gonna happen because now she's been stabbed to death. Yeah. I still remember the title of his show. A Marauding Blank. I can't say it. So, 16-min intro. But yeah, it's so sad, man. It's so sad. But hey, like Trump and Jared Kushner said, First Step Act, Oh, God. I mean, I'll still vote for Trump, but I really just fucking don't want to because I just know it's going to come with a million other problems. But it's either Trump or fucking Kamala Harris and Joe Biden in 2024. I mean, yeah, I'm going to have to go with Trump. And I mean, Trump is starting to kind of listen. So if he could keep his dumbass son-in-law, Jared Kushner, away from him, then Trump will stop doing stupid shit. Or at least it'll be a lot less of it. And then we'll see how Mike Cernovich decides to tank Trump in 2023 and 2024. I think he's still pretty pissed at him, so. That'll be a fun shit show to watch. Alright, anyway, I have more political stuff to mention, but I'll just mention it later. We should probably get going. Alright, so Bitcoin searches for this week. I better actually refresh this just to make sure, because we need up-to-date data. Okay, and of course, no news today. We're just going to go over crypto shit. And again, there's no news with Congruent. I already did the video yesterday on it, so just watch that. But, yeah, yeah, we're good with Congruent. So now we just got to play the waiting game and just do something else in the meantime. So that's why we got these guys. So, alright. God, it's so hot in here. I might need to open the window. I'm just going to go for a walk after this, I guess. So Bitcoin searches for this week are down to 14. So whatever people had, whatever normie interest we had last week has just gone to shit today. Or this week, I should say. Alright, makes sense. Crypto's not doing very well anyway, so... And I got a random F-word just spamming in Nick's cozy TV chat, calling me out specifically for him, I guess, losing money. Because he doesn't, like, fucking listen. Alright, so he wants to blame me instead of himself. So yeah, we're very much in very angry blood on the streets territory. So buy Bitcoin actually has gone up. So this is very interesting to me. So now we actually have contradictory trends. Normies, who just complete normies, are like, yeah, fuck crypto, scam, right? Bitcoin's going to zero, right? Other stupid things like that. But smart people are actually going, I need to buy Bitcoin now while this shit is still cheap. And you can see towards the end, because my mouse is covering it, this thing is just steadily going up, the interest in this. So very, very good sign. So if the Federal Reserve does what everyone's expecting to do, which is raise rates next Wednesday, because they have a 2-day meeting next week, which, God, I can't wait. But we have to wait. Then like Greg Manarino says, and I concur, that everything should just go up, right? Because right now, everyone's just waiting for the Fed to, take a crap and then get off the pot, as the saying goes, right? But until they actually do that, it's kind of like what happens every week or two before the Federal Reserve meets. The markets always go flat, they always go down, they sometimes sell off because everyone's so scared of the Federal Reserve, and it's so frustrating. And then after the meeting, the Fed says some nice stuff, or whatever, the markets go back up literally at like 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern New York City time, because that's when Jerome Powell, gives his you know, little G word speech or whatever, right? And the markets are like, yay, you know, let's we can finally take the butt plugs out of our asses and go buy, buy, buy. That's it. Always just plays out like every month or whatever. You know, that's just how the markets are. You know, that's just how the markets are. So inflation is still pretty high on everyone's mind. Makes sense. So we're at 83, and then of course hyperinflation is starting to trickle back up. So what's interesting is I see other specifically conservative areas, I think. This is all purely anecdotal evidence, but they're complaining about inflation, especially gas at $4.80 a gallon, which is kind of expensive. But it was also it was like $5 a gallon back in 2008, so it's still relatively cheaper now than before, because you know back then the dollar was worth way more. So here in New York City, the gas station I always go to whenever I go to Burger King is $3.55 a gallon. So I think what's happening is, and this is just a pure guess, an educated guess, I think Joe Biden and the Democrats are just simply subsidizing all the Democrat states and areas with cheaper prices, so that obviously we get the benefit. Well, we as in geographically shit lib run areas get the benefit, and people are like, yeah, whatever, inflation's not a problem, but it fucks over all the conservatives. So, because again, we don't live in a fair society, we live in a corrupt, you know, society. And of course, you know, who's public enemy number one? Trump supporters, conservatives. So you need to wipe us all out. And this is just one of the many ways they do it. So far, it's working, but people are getting angrier too, and resistance is just mounting. And the mandate stuff, come out of the mandate stuff, and all the other, and the crime that's actually going out of control. It's like, you know, you're literally at, like, there's a reason why the Democrats are getting much more desperate, because they know the shitty Republicans are going to kick their ass this year, and then probably kick their ass in 2024. So, you know, it's gonna be the same typical bullshit as always. You know, it's like, oh, vote for Republicans and we'll fix everything, and they kind of fix it, but they really don't, right? They don't address this, all right? Nobody dares question the Federal Reserve, right? Even fucking dumb cunt AOC, the champion, and Elizabeth Warren, the champions of progressiveness and liberals and freedom and equality and diversity shit. None of these stupid fucking bitches, you know, call this shit out. No one does. No one does. Right? So that's how I know it's all rigged. It's all rigged, you know. So and that's what Greg Manarino is referring to when he says the real government of the world are the central banks, headed by the Federal Reserve, and it's true. All right? Don't believe me, just look at look at what the politicians in any political party does. None of them call them out. Right? None of them are calling this out. Because this is the real cause of inflation. It is the only cause. Alright? But, well, whatever. People are stupid when it comes to voting and politics. And that's on purpose. So, and that's why we have censorship. To prevent people from knowing the truth. At least for now, they're letting us have our cryptocurrencies. But that's going to definitely change. But, you know, you let me and Saint Nick and the rest of us deal with that problem. You know, you guys just keep making money. And when we need help, you know, that's... damn, got something stuck in my throat. Then that's when you spring to action. So Fear and Greed Index, I have to open the window. It is so hot. Normally I have to have my shirt off, but obviously I'm not going to do this stream without my shirt. And I've got the light turned up. I got the light turned on. Ugh. It's not even that cold out there. Holy crap. It's not even that. Oh boy. Yeah, alright. Yeah, that's good relief. So, anyway. This stupid frog in my throat is so annoying. Because it wants to be itched, but it's on the inside. Very annoying. So anyway, the FUD index is at 24. Yeah, what a surprise. Alright, so whatever. Don't really need that, because we already know. We already know. Alright, so markets are still pulling back a tad bit. Crude oil is surging, so it's kind of insane. Markets should be going up like crazy because crude oil is going up. But I guess people are really scared of that inflation shit, and they're really just scared of the Fed. So this anxiety, as I'm going to call it, is I mean, just expect this for like until next Wednesday at 1 to 2 p.m. Before that time, it's just gonna be just more of this crap. Now, obviously, I'm still hoping that everything will just keep going up anyway, right? And just get this over with, and we don't have to wait till next week. But again, I can't wave a magic wand here. Obviously, if I could, I would do it instantly, right? I wouldn't even wait to stream. But that's not how it works. So, and of course, Mara and whatever is back up, but. Yeah, I'm pretty much gotta exit the stock market. I gotta exit. See, the thing is, I kind of don't want to abandon my stock market account simply because, you know, when all this shit goes down, I do want to buy put options. I want to buy a thing. I want to go short the market. Because Greg Manarino is gonna do the same thing when the time comes, right? You know, when we see the bond yields going crazy, right? We got 5, 10, 15% yields, and then that's it. It's Armageddon. It's literal Armageddon. You know, I should be tight in Florida. I should have connections there because like 99% of everyone that I meet likes me, right? The only people that don't like me are people completely possessed by Satan, and you can just easily tell just by looking at them, right? They have very angry, hostile looks on their faces. Their behavior is like, you know, get out of my way or I'll kill you kind of thing. And it's like, you know, whatever. But, you know, I'm a guy. I'm also pretty physically big, so far no one wants to mess with me for now. But who knows? Maybe it'll be a different story in Florida. Precious metals are actually doing surprisingly well, so fine. Don't really care. Bitcoin doing better, blah, blah, blah. So I don't... Procter & Gamble CEO shoppers are not balking at price increases. Yeah, because you're selling things that people need, so they have to pay for it. Like, this is just really evil what's going on. President Xi Jinping warns Fed against hiking interest rates. Jeez. Well, that's good red meat for fucking Con Inc., who are right now just going ballistic on China right now. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating, but well, what can I do? Well, that's the other thing, too. Like, I do follow Wendy Rogers, who followed me first, so she's super cool. She's totally, like, on board with Saint Nick. I just can't stand that she I understand she's an actual politician, so she gotta get along with everybody in the GOP, but I just can't stand whenever she retweets Josh Mandel, that stupid F word. But Josh Mandel's kind of a weird guy, right? He's definitely pro-tribe, but he's also very pro-Bitcoin, and he does mostly the right things, and apparently he's also very loyal to Trump. So it's actually kind of an odd thing with that guy. So, I don't know. He just might be, you know, just a little... What's the word I'm looking for? Not loose cannon, but he's just... I don't know. I think it's just because, you know, I think it's just because he's been used to just pandering everyone, right? Because that's your job as a politician, technically. He's, you know, he just does the best with what he's got. So, it'll be interesting to see when this all plays out. You know, is he going to side with Saint Nick and the Groypers, or will he turn against True America first? You know, I'm curious to see that. A large part of me wants to see him turn against us, simply because I want an excuse to really rip into Josh Mandel, right? But that's just, you know, my pride and ego, you know, saying that. But, you know, again, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Okay, so not much interest of that. Let's see, what do you got for bond yields? Okay, I forgot to check on the dollar index, which is also slightly down. Okay, this kind of makes sense because money is flowing back somewhat in everything. Crude oil, stocks. Shut up, Fauci. I'm so sick of looking at stupid F-word weasel. We got money going to precious metals, and of course we got some money going back into crypto, so this does make sense. And this is probably the Federal Reserve buying up these stupid bonds to make sure that the stock markets just don't implode. So, yeah, because there's no point in buying bonds. They pay nothing. So who buys this shit? It's the Federal Reserve, right? A large portion of their asset balance is, you know, these stupid bonds. You know, so, and if you're the Federal Reserve, you don't care what their interest rate is because you'll just print more money. It's, you know, you are, what's the term? You are judge, jury, and executioner. That's exactly what the central banks are, right? That's what the Federal Reserve is. Who can question that, right? Who can question Judge Dredd? All right, because that's essentially what they are, except they're like the evil version of Judge Dredd. Right? And you can picture the new one or the one with Sylvester Stallone. I think was the one, right? Judge Dredd Sylvester Stallone. Because I always yeah, he did do the old one. Because I always confuse Judge Dredd with the one with Dennis Rodman in it, which I watched recently a few months ago. Is it Dennis Rodman? Yeah, that's it. Dennis Rodman and Sylvester Stallone. Demolition Man, that's it. It's so weird too, because like I actually look at if you actually you should actually watch this movie, Demolition Man. Like this was made in '93, so it was actually compared to our standards today, actually a pretty based right wing movie, and basically in the future, right, which I think in this movie was like 2030 or 2020, right? They basically said that we had all this high-tech floating cars and shit, and that like basically abortion is banned, and you don't use toilet paper to, after you do number 2. And everything's like environmentally clean, and there's like zero crime because everybody gets ticketed with like the smallest of infractions. And then you have someone like Dennis Rodman who just comes in and like goes completely. Better be very careful what I say. Like all the negative stereotypes of certain types of dangerous minorities, like Dennis Rodman embraces that. It just causes mass destruction. It's actually a very good action slash, wacky political commentary film. Like you'll really like it. You'll really like it. So it's good. It's good, clean 1990s R-rated fun for the whole family, unless you don't want your kids watching stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyway, I forgot why I went on that diatribe. What? Wesley Snipes, not Dennis Rodman. Oh yeah, I got him confused. Right. So, but yeah, Wesley Snipes. But very good movie. I still recommend Demolition Man, and probably Judge Dredd too. But I haven't seen Judge Dredd in like a long time. Yeah, very good movie. Yeah, it also has Sandra Bullock when she was always pretty cool. So at least in the movies that she was always in. I don't know why there was a lot of hate for her, but maybe it was just jealousy. Anyway, so 24-hour volume for crypto is 81.3 billion. Okay, so it's actually pretty low. Yeah, I'm not surprised because everyone's still waiting on the stupid Fed. This is so frustrating. So, alright. So you normally wouldn't be that bad if we were all rich and we were farming the hell out of our, stable coins over here and just making like $11 trillion. Oh yeah, look at this. DOLA just went up to 60. I don't know why the APYs fluctuate so much. I just know that they do. Right? And the total value locked doesn't, really go too crazy. If I had to guess, maybe, because there's no exclamation mark like you see over here, I think maybe what this is the trade fees. I think this might be what it is, trade fees. And then, of course, it affects the APR, which, of course, affects the APY calculation. But either way, you probably want to just be on all 3 of these. At least that's what I'm going to do, 33% in each of these. So, because I'm pretty sure Frax is just as safe as True USD, but sometimes Frax is below True USD. Or maybe it was just that one time, I don't know. But I'll just take all 3, whatever. Money's money. But yeah, if you had like, $1 million in each of these things, you'd be making so much dollars every day, and then you would just go in the open market and just buy this stuff. Because that's what I always wanted to do, but I just couldn't because I didn't have enough money. So it's like a catch-22. But after like the ass raping we all took from Metaverse Pro, I have no choice. I have to just suck it up and just start putting like $1,500 or whatever eventually. After I stabilize my income. Of course. So, and that's these guys. Okay, so Bitcoin. I'm not going to do any technical analysis, and we'll just look at the MMRI real quick. So, 42.3K Bitcoin. It really needs to go 43K. But I'm not expecting much because, again, everything's going to be crap until next Wednesday. So, I already said that a million times. So, Binance 469. Solana doing okay. Yeah, so they're flat to slightly higher. And if I want to get into the Highpoint pre-sale, I'm going to need to buy Avalanche. Because right now, the pre-sale is 1 Avalanche for 17,600 tokens. So you're basically paying, I'm going ahead a little bit, but you're basically paying half a penny for each token of Highpoint Finance. Shiba's down a bit. blah, blah, blah. The only coin that oddly enough has been doing well, which I've been stacking the shit out of, I'm going to be buying a lot more of it, is Baby Dog. This thing's already up 16%. So I'm very satisfied, and we're about to finally approach. Because back then, this all-time high was too high too quick, but now it actually is worth more than this. Because remember, how does Baby Dog work? It's hyper deflationary. So it's only guaranteed to get more scarce over time, and of course, it's already been doing pretty well. All right, it's already been retweeted by Elon Musk accidentally when he said baby dog or something, and that's why we all heard about it back then. And I just wish the site would just stop being retarded. So you go to holder. What is this? Where is the dead address? What? Where's the dead address for this? Do I have to go here? Baby dog. Okay, well the dead address is supposed to be here. God, I'm doing a stream and Binance scan is just being stupid. Okay, we've got a problem. Like, they don't normally... They might... Devs might have just removed it, but that's actually stupid. They should never remove it. Because I wanted to look at the percentage. I guess maybe I could try doing a baby dog dead address. I could maybe do a manual search for it. Dead address, null. I need the null. Okay, this is the one I need. Okay, this is the one I need. I think this is correct. The problem is it's supposed to say null. Shit. Let me see. Does this work? I think I got it. Yeah, I got it. Okay. So it is dead. I thought there was a word null in here too. Alright, so the dead address for Baby Dog has increased by 0.1% after like a day or two. So as I was saying before, I don't know why they should not remove it. This is actually very important info. But anyway, all the Baby Dog has already been minted. And of course, over time, the slippage tax fees will just keep accumulating in here. So eventually, there'll just be less and less Baby Dogs, guaranteed. And all they have to do is just keep promoting the coin, just like Dogcoin does and Shiba Inu does. And this clown show Baby Dog is just going to keep going up. You know, just like Greg Manuel says, he likes to buy into strength. I actually kind of like that too now, especially buying into strength when it's at the bottom. Like, just look at this, right? Because I think I bought somewhere down here, right? And I just rode that shit. I have not sold a single Baby Dog, and I have no intention to, unless I kind of need to. I just been buying and buying and buying this stuff because this guy eventually will become this. These last 8 digits, Satoshis of $1, and basically you make like 100,000x. So you put in $10,000, I think you make like what, $1 million, $10 million. And there's basically no real risk to it because you're getting interest off a hotbit if you're going to do that, or you just leave it in your wallet and get your auto staking Baby Dog coins that way. And then just wait it out. Now the problem is what I'm going to guess is if we have enough time this year and maybe even the next year, the bull run for this whole crypto cycle, this bull run that is just taking for freaking ever, it could last a year to maybe 1.5 to 2 years. That would be ideal for Baby Dog because right now time is the total ally of Baby Dog. So the longer that this Baby Dog system can keep going, right, the rarer and rarer that Baby Dog becomes because I don't know why I just keep leaving the thing, right? The more coins, Baby Dog tokens that the dead address accumulates. And I assume on the Ethereum blockchain it's operating the same way. Because I'm only on Binance Smart Chain. I mean, that's whatever. I don't want to do the Ethereum gas fees, especially now that I'm on congruent, right? So eventually this should go up. Can it do it in time before the ultimate crypto crash? Maybe, right? Because everyone's going to be in a buying frenzy, and that's when I'm going to cash out. I'll just make so much money. You guys will just make so much money. And this thing is ultra cheap. You just put $100 and you already have like, I don't know, billions of this stupid coin. So very low risk, or I'd say pretty much no risk, because Elon Musk tweeted it. And as they, get more prestige, right? As Baby Dog gains more prestige, hopefully more people will cover it, and then, it'll do really well. And so far, like, their site's still active, right? I mean, babydog.com, is it? Yeah, their site is still there, and they even have a bridge. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Yeah, auto reflection, and then the automatic burns 41% of the supply, blah 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 blah. You can read this stuff if you want to. Of each transaction added liquidity pool. Okay, so 5% goes to the LP, and the other 5% goes to you. That's why you're getting auto staking. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, very very nice, very very nice. Moon Inu tried to do the same thing, which was key on the ones pick, but that shit just like fucking means nothing. So I'm a little pissed about that, and that's actually why I unfollowed him on Twitter too, and unsubscribed from his YouTube. Just too many bad calls. So he better be right about this call, where after January 18th, crypto's gonna go back up, which is another wrong call. He should have said. I don't know if he said it will go up after the Federal Reserve decision, because then that would technically be correct, because it's not going up, and I didn't think it would go up either. I said it could. But, I'm pretty sure I said at the time, we gotta wait on the stupid Fed. Okay, so that's crypto. Alright, and Baby Dog. So market risk has gone up. In fact, it's just gone up a point. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me see. Excuse me. So the dollar index needs to go down, and the 10-year U.S. Treasury yield also has to go down. So that could be a little difficult. But, I mean, the Fed is buying up interest bonds right now. So, yeah, they can probably just keep doing that. Because if they had an economic collapse right now, especially before the election, there's nothing the Democrats would do. I mean, there would just be no more Democrats left, essentially. Except, like, diehard California and New York, right? And a couple other shitlib states that, I basically live in. So, yeah. So the Federal Reserve is not going to want to do that. At least not until after the election. Because let's say the Republicans do win this year, which they should, right? Everything points to that. Oh yeah, then the Democrats will have free reign, and the Federal Reserve will have free reign to destroy everything, and they'll just blame it on the Republicans. So, see, this is what happens when you vote Republicans. They fuck everything up. Vote us back in, all right? And of course, people are stupid, so they can't put two and two together. And it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating, but we'll see. We'll see what Saint Nick does with his candidates. So. Okay, so that's that. Now we can finally get to Titano Finance. So from what I can tell, they have not done the burn. Yeah, no burn yet. So I've been raiding the hell on my Titano because I've been buying a Pallas, right? And then I found out about Poseidon Finance, which, oh wow, it's going up. I like this. This is my biggest bag right now is Poseidon Finance. I bought a shit ton of this last night. I put in, I don't want to say how much I put in, but I put in quite a bit. Like, I really had to raid my Titano Finance, and I did not want to do that. So, but it's paying off. It's just doing really, really well. I'll explain Poseidon Finance in a sec, and then of course we got Highpoint Finance. So again, I'll have to raid my Titano after the burn, so the price goes up, and then I go in. I'm still not sure. Like, I want to get a cheaper price right now by doing the pre-sale, but I don't want to have to do all the manual shit. So I don't know, but we'll explain it. So anyway, no new updates for Titano, but, the community is very active, the developers are very active, I've been on their Discord, everything pretty much checks out for Titano. So whenever they, get their things done, they'll get things done, but Titano has been doing very, very well, right? Because after every dump, this thing is actually doing what it's supposed to. It is very dump resistant, right? And then Titano is up today because I think other people have actually known that today is a dump day and that prices go up specifically. Because again, if you backtest that theory, it's not a theory, it's been proven. Every single up day that you can see on days that Titano does the burn, the price always goes up, right? It applies to Pallas Finance as well. It probably technically does apply to Poseidon Finance as well, but it's so new, right? Both to me and the project itself that you need a little more time, but it will fall because it makes sense, right? You're literally pumping a shit ton of coins into the open market and then, whatever, right? And you're reducing the circulating supply. It's the same thing with Baby Dog, right? There's less circulating supply. Well, what happens? The price has to go up, right? If demand's the same but supply is lower, what happens to the price? It goes up. It's basic supply and demand from like Econ 101 or whatever, right? Well, it really should be Econ 001, I guess. So, but so far they still haven't announced the burn yet, so I don't know. I don't think they're gonna delay it. So we'll see. In fact, let me go to the Titano Discord right now. What is this? Phoenix. Yeah, I don't care about Phoenix now. I don't know why I'm still getting this shit. Alright, so I'm in the Highpoint Discord. I need to go to Titano. Now, I have so much shit going on now that it's actually kind of hard for me to keep track of who is from what. Okay, chat is active as always. There has been no announcements on the Discord, and Titano is almost 12,792 members. That's also another thing I also look at now, is not only the quantity of members, but also the rate at which it's growing. So there's a lot of metrics that I actually use, basically to try to measure the health of the project, right? Because there's a reason why I didn't put that much into J protocol and was like very off put by it, right? And I already covered this in my previous stream, so you just go look at that if you want to. But the reason, of course, is because I look at from the movie Midway, right? Signal intelligence. I actually really like that term, right? Because I've always done that. I just didn't know there was a term to describe it. But I always do signal intelligence. Because you can never know what's in the minds of like the people at the top, right? Unless you run across someone like me. But even then, you technically have to take my word for it, right? And then just make your own decision. So what do? Well, you got to see what they do and do not do, right? Because that you can't bullshit your way out of, right? If someone says they're a programmer, right? Do they talk about what engine are they using? Are they talking about what programming language are they using? Or in the case of these crypto projects, can you see clear signs that some kind of coding development's going on, right? A website development, new features, new contracts, right? On the whatever blockchain that you're on, right? Binance or Phantom or Ethereum or whatever. These things all run on computer code. So you may not know anything about computer code, but you can obviously see if something works or not. And on top of that, it's all transparent. So you can so someone smart who knows how to code will actually look at the contract, and then there's a problem, and they'll actually just spam it everywhere, right? Everybody will hear about it. That's what signal intelligence is, right? That's how we found out that the Japanese were going to attack Midway, right? Because we didn't have shit to go on, but all we needed was 25-40% of the data from what we could decode from Japan, and like just figure out pretty much exactly when and where and what was going to happen, right? And then, well, that was the turning point. That was the turning point for World War II, essentially, at least from the Pacific theater. So basically, the signal intelligence looks pretty good for Titano, right? Developers are active. No clear sign of rug pull actions at all. No complaints about it, right? Even though the thing's there. They already admitted the code's still there and they're working on it. Community's still active. Mods are still there, which may or may not be getting paid. So if they're still getting paid, if they are being paid, that's another good sign, right? And it's like that pretty much in all these projects, right? So yeah, and that's Titano Finance essentially. I think there might be something else, but yeah, so far it's looking all right. It's looking all right, and of course the free market's still okay with it too. Right? People are still buying this shit. In fact, that's a pretty large buy. So that's Titano. Pallas Finance, same thing. Price right now, because my camera's covering, is 13593. But to be honest, Pallas has gone straight up. They need to consolidate a little bit. So it'll probably be a good time to consolidate between now and the next burn for Pallas, which I don't know what the date is, but yeah, they'll announce it, so whatever. You know what, let's not be that lazy. Yeah, the problem is they still need to hire a team, so they don't have... Let me see. I'll read chat in just a second. I just need to read this. Another listing. Blah blah. This is another form of signal intelligence, right? Are they active somewhere, right? Twitter, social media, Reddit, or specifically Discord. Discord is probably the most important one out of all of them. Another giveaway. Where they should have something about burn. Here's January 8th. Okay, so they definitely need to hire somebody that does their social media. That's the thing, because they did do a burn. Did they just not announce the freaking? I mean, did Pallas? Okay. Alright, so it looks like they just burned a lot, and then they are going to burn later. Because usually you do it once a week. Okay. Because I could have sworn they did another burn recently. I just gotta, like, freaking find it. Okay, I guess I was wrong. Let me check their Discord real quick before I read chat. Maybe it'll be under announcements? Yeah, here we go. January 17th, 2022, we have successfully burned a little under 4 million Pallas tokens. And then he links the, yeah, I even hit the rocket icon emoji. So, yeah. So they're obviously, so Pallas Finance is obviously a much smaller team. So if I had to guess, it probably is just the devs because they can't, because you can clearly see they can't even, because I went on Chrome, they can't even update their Medium or Twitter. So that means they're very understaffed. But with that being said, once they get some more money, hopefully they'll hire some people to help them with that, and then, you know, whatever. But their last burn was January 17th, and it was only for 4 million coins, a little under that. And there's a circulating supply of Pallas for 501 million, I think is right what the bot says. So the problem with Pallas is because the supply is pretty much 75% greater than Titano, the price of Pallas should be reflected in that. So whatever the price of Titano is, Pallas should be approximately 75% of that. Because again, you got to compensate for the fact that there's more circulating supply in Pallas, which also makes sense because the APY is literally 50% greater. But with that being said, over time, there should be more and more burns. So I think it should be okay, but obviously it's something to keep a watch of. And again, I'm very happy. I've already quadrupled my money in Pallas. So if I wanted to, I could just dump and then take the penalty, right? Which in my case is 22%. 20% never works for me, not even 21. I gotta set my sell slippage to 22%. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. Like, these things are, I'm just going to farm the income. Now that I know about the burn theory, right, I'm just going to try to sell on burn days. So that way I'm getting the maximum price for the week. Hey Sonny, you're definitely new. Are you confident in Pallas as you are in Titano? I'm fairly confident in Pallas. But again, it's ultimately up to the devs to keep hiring and growing and developing. So, you know, in that case, that's just up to, you know, faith. I think, but the thing is, I already looked at so many of these addresses, especially developer addresses. They actually make the most money if they keep going. So, J Protocol became a scam because the developers lost heart and were not making money. I'm kind of, first of all, I don't even know if their treasury is real, but, you know. I just kind of wonder, is J Protocol just going to steal the... You know, actually, let's just take a look real quick. Part 2, January 14th. Oh, so they did tweet something. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother with this shit. I'm just sick and tired of it. Like, these guys are just... And that's the thing. The J Protocol devs apparently have done this exact same shit before. So there's actually history with them. And they always do the exact same thing. They're kind of like me when it comes to programming, right? We just try something and then it fails and then we quit. So J Protocol is just done. It's just done. You know, it could go up, but I mean, honestly, I have way more confidence in even, you know, these Titano forks far more than fucking J. So, and it's a lot cheaper to get into this too. So, J Protocol is just worthless at this point. It's all risk and pretty much no reward. Why would you go into that? I know this rebase is buggy, not giving out the amount it says it does. Oh, for Pallas, yeah. So Pallas gives a little bit less. So let's say you get 100 coins, you get like 99 or 98. It's slightly lower. It's slightly lower. But it's very marginal. And I don't really care where that coin goes, because maybe it just goes to the burn pile or something. I don't know where it goes, though. I don't know where it goes. But again, I don't consider that really a big issue. Alright, so, you know, we'll see. I can't believe the heat's still going on. Yeah, but with that being said, Pallas is so far the biggest Titano fork before Titano compared to Poseidon and Highpoint. Alright, because obviously Pallas has been out a little longer. So, you know, I think Pallas will do alright, but again, you know, they're going to need to deal with, you know, they really need to do stronger buybacks, because Titano does big burns, like really big burns. So, and then before we move on, let's go to the documentation here. I also wish they would fix this. Like, I wish these links and everything would go to a new window instead of staying in this window. Oh, God. So they still haven't fixed this yet either. Alright, because I don't want to go in the Pallas Discord, but basically I want to look at the Treasury for Pallas and just look at how... Alright, I'll just freaking do it. Just give me a second, guys. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. I need to go into bot commands because I don't want to spam general chat. I want to do Treasury. Oh yeah, why do I have to do this? I bookmarked it. I keep forgetting I bookmarked everything. That's because that's why I bookmarked it. This is one of the treasuries. I'm just gonna read it out loud. Actually, maybe you guys do want to see this. Alright, so this is one of the treasuries. I don't feel like figuring out which one's the RFE and which one is the normal treasury. So that's one of the treasury addresses. This should be the other one. Okay, so the treasuries are looking pretty good for Pallas. I remember this used to be 60 grand or something. Now it's way higher. Actually, maybe that's where that little extra Pallas is going towards the treasury. That would be the ideal, either the treasury or the burn address. Like, either one would work. So, one of the treasuries has 1381, blah, 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 Phantom. Really? This is only worth 4,000? Is that correct? Oh, okay. I was like wondering, wait a minute, this don't make no sense. Okay. Okay, so this, yeah, okay. So their DAI stable coin holdings are about 92 grand. Okay, very good, because you can see it right there. So they got plenty of fees for Phantom, and they've got the 90, this is the real treasury, 92 grand. Stable coin, so it's true 92 grand. Okay, and then the other treasury has got a little under $132,000. Good. So this has actually grown quite substantially. All right, and I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that. Okay, so that's Pallas. Obviously, Pallas, I mean, really, all these projects really need to hire new people. I think Poseidon or Highpoint. It was Highpoint Finance that said they need to hire devs. But really, everybody, they all know they have to hire new people. So the problem is they have to balance that with, you know, money, right? Because they're still not making enough money just yet. These projects are too new. But, you know, well, we'll see. I mean, they'll eventually improve so far. Because if they wanted a rug pull, now would be a good time, right? All these projects would have just rug pulled. But they haven't. So, you know, it's the same thing that I had back when I went into Metaverse Pro and Congruent, right? What's the rug pull risk? Well, over time, you know, it just seems very consistent. They show up, they engage with everybody, they keep doing, you know, coding stuff, new features here and there. So, all right. So, I don't really see too many problems with Pallas, aside from, you know, the normal, you know, they just gotta need more time to keep developing. So, someone in Pallas, I believe, told me about Poseidon Finance, and then someone else in Pallas Finance, in Poseidon Finance, when I introduced myself in the chat, told me about Highpoint. So, that's how God's kind of working his magic through all of this. Works for me. So I bought a shit ton of this yesterday. I didn't even wait to do all my research. I was like, whoa, all right, I just did the basics, right? You know, I mean, they even list their treasury address here. Right? They have the treasury address here. They have this clown over here, right? So so Poseidon Finance is a pretty small team, but Kevu, who was from Metaverse Pro, he's actually, I think, a moderator in Poseidon Finance, so that's always reassuring. And he's very active. In fact, he's probably active right now in the Discord, but obviously I'm doing the stream. So this is Phantom Scan. So I need ftmscan.com address and then one of these treasuries. So this is a little annoying because I can't. Yeah, because this one's a little different. So Poseidon seems to hold all their assets in Phantom, which is okay if you're okay with, you know, enduring bear markets. Well, I shouldn't call it bear market, but shitty FUD moments like what we're having now. I also remember which one did I do? Is it this one? Yeah. Okay. So this is the other treasure. I don't even know what the difference between the two are. They all seem to, everyone just seems to just put all the money in just both addresses. It's pretty much the same. Okay. So this has 4.2 billion Poseidon? Am I reading this right? But it says 0. What? Okay, so this is filtered by the token holder. Okay, so apparently one of the treasuries also contains all the Poseidon coins. Let me make sure I'm getting this right. So this is a little different. Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess maybe you could consider this a slight red flag, I guess. But with that being said, for some reason, this contract address is saying that this is worth 0, even though it's actually in possession of 4.2 billion Poseidon coins. So I think the contract has actually zeroed it out. So I think we don't have to worry about this. So the treasury really is, I guess, this. So 14,200 and 30,000. Yeah. So Poseidon is just very, very new. Also, if we go back to over here, there's a burn program. At first, I thought it was gonna take all my money and then burn my wallet because I thought that's what this is. I'm not going to push the button, though. I'm going to let some other sucker do it. I mean, I think it's probably fine, but just to be safe, I'm not going to ever push this button. I'm going to let someone else, you know, take the fall. So now that we've seen that treasury address, I think maybe what this burn amount is that treasury address burning the thing. And this is the contract that, you know, takes Poseidon coins from one of the treasury addresses, which is 0, and just dumps it on the dead address. So I think that's what this is, because we don't have anywhere near this much trade volume to justify this, and we obviously see that the treasury is still very new because literally this project just came out like a couple days ago or whatever. So these Poseidon coins have to be coming from somewhere. So okay, so I think that makes sense. It is the treasury, just dumping all those coins, and this is just basically for marketing and consisting purposes to say, hey, we are legit. You know, here's the stats. So, so circulating supply of Poseidon Finance, I'm still not sure what it is. Let me actually check to see. I think Poseidon Finance does list circulating supply. Yeah, so the circulating supply of Poseidon Finance, according to the Discord bot, is 89.48 million. So it's very, very low. So in a lot of ways, Poseidon is actually better than Pallas, simply because the circulating supply is much lower. But that doesn't say Pallas is bad or shit. It, you know, he's been around almost for a few weeks now, maybe a month, and they're doing very, very well. So it's just a matter of picking your poison. To be honest, I would just go into every single one. You could just put even amounts of money into all these projects, just to literally spread out the risk. In my case, though, I just buy as much as I can up to like I don't want to say what the number is, but a low amount of 4 figures. I'll leave it at that because I don't want to dox how much money I put in, because if you're really smart, you can figure out how much money I eventually make, and I don't, and that's definitely something I don't want any of you papagas to do. All right, I only reveal my financials years after the fact, so it's basically impossible to figure out what I'm really worth now. So, always there on time. Have a nice day, sir. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm streaming. Yeah. So I don't know. What am I? What am I? Oh, he was talking to me in the Treasury bot command channel. Okay. All right. So what else about Poseidon Finance? Well, obviously their site looks like crap. But from what little I saw in the Discord chat, they actually said, "Am I still streaming?" Yeah. They actually said that one of the developers has said he's still working on the site, so that's why it says 2.61. If you look at their Twitter or whatever, they actually had previous versions, so 2.6.0. So eventually they'll fix this up, but I can always forgive a shitty looking website. I mean, I'm okay with this because it's nice and simplistic. I don't really care that much. I mean, it's always nice to have a very nice website. That's always a plus. But if you have a kind of ugly website, I can forgive that because, again, everything is new and small. So I'm not expecting bells and whistles here, right? All I care about is trust. Are the developers who they say they are, right? Meaning they can code. And 3, what is their community like? These are always the important things. That's the only thing that matters. If you have those things, everything else works itself out, right? You just make money, you have a community, a good growing community, and then you just hire a guy who knows how to web design and just make the site look like, $11 trillion, right? And then you're good to go. So I'm very hopeful for Poseidon Finance. I'm already up, right? Because I bought again at 4.0041 on average, I think, and I have a shit ton of coins. Like, this thing is going to be a major money maker for me, and I'll be happy to pay the 22% slippage tax on Phantom. Right? These guys definitely deserve the tax or whatever. So, I'm happy to do my part. And yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with all this stuff, because this is basically the DeFi 2.0 version of what I was doing back in 2016 and 2017, right? With 404 coin, I think, and 808 and 808 coin, right? 404 coin wasn't in existence back then. So I already know what happens, right? The coins just keep multiplying, and then eventually the coin actually does go basically towards zero, right? Because there's just too many coins in circulation. So what's different this time is not only do you have the burn mechanism, right? Because we didn't have that back then. You also have an automated tax system. So when you have an automated tax system, the Treasury can always do the buybacks, essentially, right? So it's just a constant revolving door. In the meantime, you're accumulating more followers, the community that is. Your project gets more prestige, more automated marketing. You have clowns like me doing YouTube videos. That's free marketing as well. And it just creates, it's literally an ecosystem. That's really what I like about these. And of course, you just make like a retarded amount of money, especially the longer and earlier you get in and the more you compound, the better the reward, right? So knowing what happened in 2016, 2017, and my extensive experience with basically Proof of Stake 1.0, I'm curious to see what would happen with this, right? Because it's everything on steroids, but a buyback mechanism. Because yeah, let's say it's like 6 months, 9 months down the line or whatever, a year down the line, right? And Poseidon Finance, Pallas, and Titano, whatever, they're basically the token has gone down to like 0.001 or something because there's just too many coins in circulation. Well, because you have the Treasury, right? And I'm assuming, of course, none of these devs are going to do a scam rug pull on us, of course, right? Well, eventually the Treasury just keeps going up and up in value. So $10,000 in 1 year from now will buy back way more of these tokens in the open market than $10,000 right now, because obviously there's not as many coins to buy up, right? Does that make sense? So essentially you will reach, I think, and that's what I'm ultimately banking on, there will be a point where there will be an equilibrium point. So for example, we go back to Titano, and it looks like there's still no buyback burn yet. I don't know why they're so late. because I'm really eager and impatient to just, you know, start buying Highpoint, which we'll get into next. I can't believe oh my God, this stream is gonna go on forever, man. An hour and 10 minutes. Okay, that's not too bad. So let's say it's a year later or whatever, right? Okay, so I can't go, I don't feel like zooming, right? You know, by then the treasury for Titano will be big, they'll have other features, and then, you know, it will just buy back, like, this is not the real supply. Let's say the circulating supply of Titano in like 6 to 9 months is 1 trillion coins. Something, which is pretty large, right? Compared to 334 billion coins, 335 million coins, sorry. 335 million coins of circulating Titano, the real supply. Right? That may not be so unreasonable, right? Well, maybe in a year they'll just buy back like 150 billion Titano coins because it's so cheap, right? Because obviously your dollar will go much further in the future than it is now. So that's actually not that bad, all right? Not that bad. I mean, it's hard to explain because you guys are all new, so you're not familiar with my history, but yeah, I think this could actually work. Like, to me, I think it actually could work, right? And I'm willing to put the risk in, right? But I'm not putting in that much risk. Even though I wish I knew about Titano instead of Metaverse Pro instead, and then I would have put my ape money into this, and then I would just be making so much money right now. I would be making, I want to say several $1,000s a day or a week. It's just something ludicrous like that. I'm just so upset. And then I would have heard about Metaverse Pro, and then their current problems, and then I would have just put in like 20, 30 grand, no problem. Right, and then just buy up all that cheap Metaverse Pro for cheap. I would just have so much more of everything. It's just the woulda, coulda, shoulda. So, you know, that's just how it goes. That's how it goes. That's why I want to do community engagement more, because I really need to just engage with people more. Because all of you have the piece of the puzzle, but a piece. It's a key piece, but it's not the whole puzzle. But if I talk to all of you guys as best as I can, and I combine our pieces together, then we get the whole puzzle, right? We get the whole pie, and then we all enjoy, you know, making a shit ton of money. Because it was actually interesting. When I introduced myself in Pallas, Poseidon, and Highpoint, everyone was like, oh, hey, it's you, Harbinger, from, you know, blah, 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 right? It was like, huh, small world. So, you know, works for me. Works for me. And so far, everyone's been really cool, too. That's the other thing, too. In all of these, I'm going to move into Highpoint now. Everybody so far has had a very good community experience. So, because the last thing I want to do is buy into a community that acts exactly like Jade Protocol, right? I can tolerate FUD, but what I don't want is the spirit of Satan and anger and hatred in people, and people embracing that. That's why Jade Protocol and the devs don't go anywhere, right? Because they're looking to just piss people off and then like rank on everyone and say, they all suck, we're the best. I mean, that's the pathway to ruin. Guaranteed. Right? Never compare yourself to others unless it's just for informational and constructive criticism. Right? But never be like, I am effing better than you. F you. Like, that's... Alright, unless you're doing something like very narrow and specific, like running for office, right? And even then, there are a lot of drawbacks to being like that. You know, you don't want to be with a community or definitely a developer type of thing that's like that. All right, because people change, and I still struggle with that too, but I'm getting better at it, I think. And on top of that, you want to be building. You don't want to be hating on people, because when you're hating, you're destroying, right? And you're not going to make any money if you're destroying stuff, right? Just look at what's happening in America, right? As an example, or probably somewhere else. Right? You want to be building shit, right? You want to be likable and lovable and all that stuff. Okay, so Highpoint is... I haven't really talked to you much about Beethoven X Prime FTN. It looks very interesting. I never heard of Beethoven X. Can you drop me a link and I'll take a look while I explain this real quick? So I gotta hide my camera again. So obviously Highpoint's not launched yet, but their Discord's on the upper right corner, and they're already bigger than Poseidon, and I think they're about to... I think they might be the same size as Pallas, but I don't remember how many people are in Pallas. Like, you know... Yeah, just drop the link in there. I think you should be allowed to. I don't really have any moderation things in my YouTube, except filtering out racist words or whatever. Well, racist words. But yeah, you just go in their Discord. Obviously, the site still needs a lot of work, but the project's not released yet, and they're very active on Discord and Twitter. So they definitely have what I think is a bigger team than Poseidon for sure, and then perhaps bigger than Pallas as well. And I talked to their dev, Axis. Cool guy. No pressure. Seems legit. So right now, I really just want to buy this coin in the open AMM, so I don't have to deal with any of the manual pre-sale stuff, and then also get it for a cheap price. But the pre-sale ends sometime tomorrow, so if I want to get this Highpoint stuff now for cheap, now's the time to do it. Because basically this is a Titano fork as well. But they're setting their APY to 40,000% a year. So it's definitely going to be way more stable and sustainable than even Titano. Right? Provided the Highpoint devs do everything else like they're supposed to. And again, I'm also assuming that Titano is the leader because they're the first, right? They're the alpha male. They'll do all the coding stuff, and then the other Titano forks, Pallas, Poseidon, Highpoint, and everyone else that comes after, they're all going to copy the code and then make their little changes. So whatever happens in Titano is going to happen in everywhere else, guaranteed, right? Unless there's a big problem, and then the project, each individual project has to deal with that problem, right? Which is basically what's happening on with DAOs right now. And Congruent right now is pretty much the only project that I know of that's actually going to solve the problem, which is great for us. So it's definitely going to become a multi-billion-dollar project if we can pull this off. And I'm going to be playing a very important role in that too. Okay, so instead of typing, just type out the URL like this. BeethovenX.com or whatever. That way you can get around the... I guess maybe YouTube has like a built-in like anti-link spam thing. So just do it like that. Aside from that, there's not much to go on with Highpoint. So I still have to decide if I want to do, the pre-sale. Or maybe I'll just... Because I said to Axis yesterday, I just might wait for the AMM and just pay the extra premium. Because that also means less trust that I have to worry about. Because the contract will handle everything, right? So, I don't know. How much am I going to put in a Highpoint? I mean, the problem is it's going to be much more expensive than anything else. So, I don't know. It's going to be, again, probably the same amount that I put in a Poseidon, but it's still a lot. So, I'm going to be relying more on Highpoint being worth a lot more than everyone else. And then whatever little, quote unquote, little Highpoint coins, I guess, right, that I mint from this, I'll have to just hope that that's worth a lot more to, make me a livable income. Because I'm being very aggressive with trying to rebuild my income stream, especially in the current situation we find ourselves in the market. Speech.fi. Okay, I hope it's not a fucking, thingy. Virus website. So they have a total value locked of 303 million. That's actually a lot. It's worth 80 cents apparently. It's built on. So this is like Pancake Swap, right? It's an AMM. Their website looks very nice. So that's always a very good bonus sign. I don't know. I mean, if I were looking for, I don't even do stuff like this anymore because, there's no point. We have DAOs when we fix the problem, and we have Titano forks. With that being said, if people want to invest in this, I don't see any red flags. This looks really well done. This actually looks very well done. Site runs smooth. Let me see. Connect wallet. I really don't want to be connecting my wallet though. Well, there's nothing in this, so I can connect. It's fine. Alright. I just want to get more data. So these look like they've got some good APRs, but of course you still have to do your research because obviously if they list a bunch of random shit coins, right, it's going to go down in value and it's got the impermanent loss thing and it's just like whatever. Oh, that's the other thing too. These are all single staking token coins, so impermanent loss is not a problem. I'd rather deal with hyperinflation problems than impermanent loss. Because there's nothing you can do with impermanent loss, but you can totally deal with supply and inflation problems. is actually is generally pretty simple to deal with that. And even then, maybe we don't want to deal with the inflation problem because we want the inflation technically, right? You know, I mean, that's just the way it goes. So this is the actual staking thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I don't really have. Oh, stablecoin pools. There you go. Steady Beats Act 2. This is not nearly as good as Beefy Finance. I also don't know if this is auto compounding. Yeah, on top of that, these are all liquidity pools, so you have to keep pairing. So you have to waste time and money with fees to pair these guys together. But aside from that, I mean, it looks good, but I'm not really interested because there's literally way better opportunities. This is cheaper and more. You make more money. This is even safer. Not that Beethoven looks scammy. I think they look like a legit site, but this is literally just better in every way. And these are all single tokens too, so you just chuck your stable coins in here and then you just farm risk-free, you know, your stupid high APYs. Again, this thing is fluctuating like crazy, so, but whatever. This is way more than you'll ever get at the bank, right? And I'm curious to see when the interest rates rise by the central banks. I wonder if this is going to consistently go up too. You know, I'm going to be interested in that. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, man. I'm like tired, man. Thanks for checking it out. But yeah, Beethoven or Beats.fi, they look like a good site. But obviously, I just did a quick look. I didn't do any research. So, you know, just type in like Beethoven X scam and then, you know, you can just check to see. But again, I have no incentive to really do Pancake Swap or MDEX or whatever anymore. In fact, maybe I should just close this out. I don't know. I really shouldn't do that. Yeah, this is just way better. This is just way better. And look, when everybody else was going down in the markets, Titano was the one that survived. In fact, it even went up when Metaverse Pro and all the DAOs were going to shit in December. And it's just like, oh yeah, I don't have to. I have the link open here. I mean, just look at December, man. All right, during Christmas especially, this guy just went off. It just went off. So, I don't know, man. It's just better in every way. Alright, well, I don't know if... I don't even think... Have they done the burn yet, man? They haven't done the burn yet. It's supposed to be due today. Alright, well, whatever. I mean, if I miss the pre-sale today, I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'll just wait. Because that means I just wait for more time for my Titano to keep compounding more coins and making more money. So, I think it'll just balance out. And I also withdrew my Hotbit investment for Shiba Inu. So I'll be using that to rebalance my portfolio and buy more Highpoint. Maybe draw a couple grand for living expenses, which I really don't want to be doing. And I do have enough money to last me at least 2 months now, 2 to 3 months. But with no income coming from anywhere else, so I'm okay in that front. And I also actually want to rebalance my Shiba Inu specifically into... fucking crypto markets. Yeah, it's just going down. Alright, I really want to buy up a shit ton more of this. Alright, I want to buy a lot more. We're talking at least a couple $1,000s more. I might even put in way more than that. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. What's the interest rate right now for... I don't know if I have it open. What is the interest rate right now for Baby Dog? And then we'll call it. We'll go in investment. And of course, if you don't want to leave it in a Hotbit, all you have to do is just put Baby Dog in your wallet and, you know, it'll be safe. Baby Dog is at 19.2% APY. Yeah, so the APY is also just like retard strong here. It's really good, right? And yeah, it's ultra cheap. So now this APY does fluctuate like everything else. So, but you still get very good APY. So whatever, you know, it's just give me free money. That's all I care about. Just give me the free money, right? And then we'll cash out like pirate bandit kings, and then, you know, we'll Vida Loca, right? I'll buy my houses, commercial real estate, and boats in Florida. I'll probably have like a hot, busty girlfriend or whatever. You guys will have your Lamborghinis because everyone always likes to buy a Lambo. I don't know what the obsession with a Lambo is. You know, I'm gonna get like a Lincoln Town Car or something. I already mentioned that before in a previous stream. Oh I'm getting so sick of this diversity woke bullshit. Yeah, the markets are down. Yeah, wonderful. Well, meanwhile, crude oil is up. God, I hate the central banks of Federal Reserve so much because everyone literally just cuts to the Federal Reserve. Like, you're seeing it now. It's so annoying. But whatever. Thanks for watching, everybody. I am effing exhausted. It is hour 25 minutes. I feel like it's been a 2-hour stream because I literally went over like 11 million things. So spread the videos around. I'm going to have the YouTube chapters up right after, I'm done streaming. I got to do the whatever. Spread around. Pallas, Titano, Discord, congruent Discord. Just help me out, get the word out, right? Because the more we can grow this channel, it'll help me out, especially since I'm not asking for money, even though I really should. Especially right now, but whatever. God will take care of my stuff, so so I'll take care of you guys. You take care of me. Blah blah blah. Tomorrow is Thursday, so I will see you all tomorrow after the markets close or close to it, around 3-4 p.m. New York City time, maybe a little bit after if I'm goofing off. And that'll be the last stream for the week unless something major happens or I find major content that I must get out. And of course the video will always be out and I'll post it on Discord. So thanks for watching. Welcome to all new people and all the people that will subscribe because, hey, you want the best info and, it's all combining everybody and everything that actually knows what they're talking about. You watch me. Otherwise, you can just wait for Gregory Manarino. But obviously I specialize specifically in crypto and making money because this is how I make my living, right? And if I didn't ape into Metaverse Pro / congruent, I would already easily have put in 10 grand in each of these projects without question, right? And then, God, I don't want to get any more mad at myself. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks. Oh, that isn't to say congruent is shit. It's just that, I made a very bad investing mistake despite being a 22-year, 20-plus year veteran of trading, which is never put all your eggs specifically in a high-risk investment, right? That's just dumb. You're supposed to take certain portions of money into each of the things. So, you spread out the risk. So, yeah. But that's what happens when you get